Welcome back. Do remember, all our top stories can be found on our website, and that's channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to see us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. Besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Statisticians have recommended that the use of statistical data as a tool for the country to get out of recession. This suggestion is one of the recommendations by the body at the 40th annual conference held in Abuja, the nation's capital. The group also looks at how Nigeria can achieve credible and cost-effective population census in the country. Our correspondent Ibrahim Adra reports.
Statisticians from across the country at a meeting in Abuja. Venue was the International Conference Center. Barely a week ago, through the National Bureau of Statistics, statisticians told Nigerians that the country's GDP has declined. The figures, they say, is a wake-up call for proper planning that must be based on numbers and demography. Any plan done otherwise will not yield the desired result.
If you don't plan with statistics, you are planning to fail. The statistics we are given is to tell us where we are now. So let's look at the statistics and project forward.
We need to improve on the entire machinery of policy. We have to design policies for the future. The rate of population growth itself is quite high, at about 3.5 or so. It's extremely very high.
For participants, it is essential to get the demographic right. Demographics are a product of accurate population census. As the country looks to count its citizens next year, there are suggestions on how to go about it.
We have records, we have registers. For instance, the Electoral Commission has the voters register. It has about 70 million people, which means it has captured 70 million people in its register. We can go to other registers like school registers and so on. So countries are now harnessing the registers to have an idea of the demographics of its population.
Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation and currently the 7th in the world. It is estimated that this will change in 34 years, when Nigeria is expected to be the 3rd largest population in the world. Ibrahim Adra, Channels Television News.
And to talk with us about the economic recession Nigeria is faced with currently, we have with us in the studio a policy analyst, Mr. Femi Onakonren. Thank you for coming on News Across Nigeria.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How do you think this recession will affect households?
The recession is a prescient issue. It's been on the forefront of most economic discussions in the country for over a period now. I think that one of the things we need to manage is information. How information, is communicated with regards to what the recession entails and what is the import that it will have on the average household. We envisage that because of rising inflation costs that is accompanied with recession, that it's going to be a lot harder. Consumer spending, the purchasing power parity per naira is going to be a lot less. So you have less money, right, to get a similar amount of goods. So it's going to be pretty difficult for a lot of people and a lot of households in the long run. And when you couple it with rising unemployment rates as well, it means that generally the way we look at the movement of money within the economy becomes, a bit more stringent for all. So it's going to be very tough in the next couple of, months.
It looks that way. But how can the regular man or woman manage their spending?
It comes down to adjusting how you approach your business and your household. You need to accommodate the fact that there are issues present right now that needs to be properly addressed. Your spending, you need to manage it properly. You cannot afford to spend extravagantly as you used to do. Identify the core areas that you need to, put your money in.
So have a priority checklist, as it were.
Yes, exactly. It might also, interest a lot of people to look at possible partnerships. If you have 10 naira and someone else has 10 naira, both of you have 20 naira. 20 naira will probably go a long way, so you might need to share the profit, but you are more likely to achieve, the objective of actually doing business or keeping, your family running. Because if your business is generally a comatose, then the ability to survive overall on an insufficient cash flow, projection becomes quite a big challenge for all concerned.
Could Nigeria have avoided this recession?
Well, the truth is, recession is cyclical. How do you put it? The import for our economy is we know that it could have been avoided, right? It could have been arrested a lot earlier, because all the signs were there from the fourth quarter of last year. It was quite obvious that if we continue along the same pattern, we're going to have this situation, and along with some of the things that came up, a global perspective, the falling oil prices, and also situations that we're able to manage because of our revenue base and the consumption base of the economy. They become more constrained, and if we had focused on putting some of those things in place earlier, we might have been able to avoid it. The political issue with passing the budgets in time was also quite, an issue. So people believe that not appointing ministers in time may also have contributed to creating, speculations and uncertainty, in the market generally. And we cannot forget the import of, the confidence of investors in the economy. Once there's a lot of uncertainty, right, investors become less confident with their funds and then they move away. And recession categorically is about lower spending, lower economic activities within, the economy in consecutive quarters. And that is, what came out of all these scenarios.
Now, we just played for our viewers a report on meeting of statisticians, and they're saying that we need statistics, we need those figures for proper planning. How much can this help?
Well, it goes without too much bias that is important. If you're going to make an effective plan, you need to have proper records and proper figures to be able to plan against what you're expecting. Unfortunately for us as a country, we are limited by the fact that our records are they're dodgy at best, and a lot of people feel that the kind of position that we are in, it makes it hard for the government to actually properly plan. We have a very deep market for consumption, and which is actually one of the things that attracts a lot of foreign direct investment, because they know that the depth of the market is yet to be properly exploited, as revealed by the telecommunications liberalization and how it eventually blew up, and all the ancillary sectors that it opened up. So statistics is good, but the process of getting accurate data or implementing whatever figures that we may feel is not adequate right now to actually ensure planning might actually be too long term to arrest the position,
the current
that
situation
we are in. Exactly.
Okay, so it's more of a long-term thing.
Yeah, it's going to be long-term. So,
and then we had the Ministry of National Planning that was scrapped.
It's an unfortunate thing, because in a way it seemed like they were doing, was two bodies doing the same thing. We have the Bureau of Statistics, right? That's actually supplying us, statistics and all. So national planning and statistics, we have the budget office. There has to be a balance, and we can't afford to be egregious in our application of data and use of, figures.
Okay, so we'll have to leave it there. And many thanks for coming on News Across Nigeria.
That was a pleasure.
We hope that we get out of this recession. I understand that a recession goes on for between 6 to 8 months.
Or you go into a depression.
We don't want to have a
depression. Is hard to come out of.
Yes.
And, it's something that
we definitely don't want that.
We need to plan against and try to avoid as quickly as possible.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. Mr. Femi Onakanran is a policy analyst. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, the governor of Ekiti State assesses teachers' performance. Don't go away.